Okay, Hare Krishna. We'll continue from verse number 31 onwards today. This is one important section. It is philosophical also. Kindly pay attention. Narayane Bhagavati Tadidam Vishwamahitam Grihitamaayoruguna Sargadau Agunaswata.
The universe is situated in Narayana, the Supreme Lord. By nature, the Lord is beyond the gunas of Prakriti. But for creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe, he has many gunas by accepting Maya, the forms of the Devatas.
Narayane Bhagavati. Narayana is Bhagavan. Okay. Tadidam Vishwamahitam. So, he is situated within the universe as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. That Narayana is Bhagavan himself. By nature, Lord is beyond the gunas of Prakriti. Swataha Aguna. But for the sake of creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts the gunas. Because by glancing upon Prakriti, only activating the gunas and performing all the activities. So even though gunas belongs to Maya, but he accepted them for the purpose of creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the entire universe. This verse summarizes the answer to the question given in 252. Yad Adhishtanam. What is the shelter of the universe? Basically, who is the shelter of the universe? Karanodakshaya Vishnu, the shelter of the entire universe. Ahitam means situated. The Lord naturally has no gunas, but has many gunas by accepting Maya in the form of Devatas like Brahma and Shiva. Yad Adhishtanam. This universe is situated in Narayana. Though the Lord is beyond Prakriti, he accepts the three modes of material nature for creation, maintenance, and destruction through the agency of Maya.
Why we see that Karanodakshaya Vishnu is the shelter of the gunas? Why not Garbhodakshaya Vishnu? Universe में
गुनास से यूनिवर्स बनाया ना. प्रकृति किससे है? प्रकृति
Karanodakshaya Vishnu.
सृजामि तन्नियुक्तोऽयं नियुक्तोऽहं हरो हरति तद्वशा विषं पुरुषरूपेण परिपाति त्रिशक्तिदृक्.
I create under his order, and Shiva destroys under his order. Holding his three energies, he protects the universe as the Paramatma.
तन्नियुक्तोऽहं सृजामि. Under his order, being niyukta means being positioned. You put one person particular, make one as in charge of something like that. Being put under by his order, I create, and Lord Shiva destroys. Vishwam Purusha Rupena Paripati Trishaktidu. And the Lord maintains, Lord himself at the Purusha Rupena, at the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, maintains the entire universe, holding three modes of material nature. So in that way, three Shakti refers to three modes. Holding his three Shaktis, he protects the universe as Paramatma. This verse elaborates the creation, maintenance, and destruction mentioned in the previous verse. It also answers the question, Yat Parasam. On whom do you, Brahma, depend? Yat Parasam. On whom you depend? I depend on that Supreme Lord. Brahma and Shiva are different forms of Lord Vishnu because of their contact with the Rajas and Tamas, since they are under the control of Lord Vishnu. Though Lord Vishnu is connected with Sattva-guna, he is Shuddha Sattva. He is not actually in contact with Sattva-guna, since he is indifferent to it, and since Sattva does not have a harmful nature. Brahma is the in charge of passion, Shiva is the in charge of ignorance, Vishnu is the in charge of goodness. But other deities are directly interacting with the modes, but Lord Vishnu does not interact with the modes. Even though it is goodness, but two actions are given. One is indifferent to mode of goodness. Second thing is, mode of goodness is not so harmful. It will not disturb the person so much, like passion and ignorance. In that way. So he is not touched by the modes.
How do we actually understand that Vishnu also is in touch with Guna?
Because he is maintaining, he is in charge of maintenance. So unless until you are given a post, unless until you identify yourself with the post, you can't do your service. Are you getting? That's what is happening with Brahma and Shiva. Brahma identifies himself as the creator. Shiva identifies himself as the destroyer. If Vishnu also identifies himself as the maintainer, he will be disturbed by the modes. But in spite of doing the duty, he will not identify that service. That's why he is in Yoga Nidra. Lord Vishnu is always in Yoga Nidra. He is doing the duty, but he is not identified. Namang karmani limbati name karma phala spruha. So in that way. Because he is thus beyond the gunas, he is shown to be the Lord, Paramatma, who holds Maya Shakti having 3 gunas. Or this can mean he holds the internal and external Tatastha Shaktis. Internal energy, Antargata Shakti, Bairanga Shakti, and Tatastha Shakti. All 3 energies are with him. I create the Lord Shiva. I create, and Lord Shiva destroys only under his order. He does not, he does the maintenance. So what are the duties of 3 Gunavataras are mentioned in this particular verse. Iti te abhihitam tata yatedam anupruchyate nanyad bhagavat kinchet bhavyam sat asadatmakam.
Listen, I have answered according to your questions. You should not think that there is anything either as effect or as cause other than the Supreme Lord.
Oh son, I have answered according to your questions. Iti te abhihitam tata idam anupruchyasi. Whatever you asked, I have given you answer, my dear son. You should not think that there is anything either as effect or cause other than the Supreme Lord. Na kinchit bhavyam sad asadatmakam bhagavata anyad. Other than the Supreme Lord, there is nothing else in this world. Everything is manifested from him, or everything is transformation of one of his energies. Whatever you see around in the universe is all manifested from the Supreme Lord only. So in one sense, this is a summary of whatever Brahmaji spoke till now. This summary is the second section. Sad Asadatmakam means composed of effect and cause, and also the spiritual world and material world. So
Why Sad and Asad with respect to the spiritual world and material world is understandable. And with respect to effect and cause, is it
the
parallel
direct
to-
meaning of Sat Asat means effect and cause only. Always it is effect and cause. Sat means which you see, which you perceive. Asat means which you can't perceive. The effect you can perceive, cause you don't know. Now the light is glowing. This is the effect. What is the cause of that?
The electricity which is
Can you perceive the electricity? In that. Why should you believe my words? Why should I accept your opinion and not the opinion of other great self scholars? You are saying everything is Lord only. Why should I accept you? What is the authority do you have? Not the mind question. Then Brahmaji is establishing that. Na bharati me anga mrushopalakshate na vai kvachin me manaso mrushagati na me rashika nipatanti asatpate enme hridaya utkantayavata dhruto hari.
O Narada, my words are never false. The working of my mind is never false. My senses do not fall onto the wrong path. This is because the Lord, this is because hold the Lord in my heart. I hold the Lord in my heart, filled great zeal.
Three things Brahmaji says. Why what I am saying is not wrong. It is why it is correct. Na bharati me anga mrushopalakshate. Navai kachin me manaso mrushagati. This is about words. This is about mind. Name urshikani patni. This is about senses. Name hrudayat kontayavata dhruto hari. This is about his heart. My words are never false. Me bharati na mrusha upalakshate. Mrusha means illusion or false. My words are not false. Why? And the working of my mind is never false. Navai kvachin me, never. Me manaso mrusha gati. My mind will never get into illusion. And my senses do not fall into the wrong path. Name rishikani patanti asatpate. My senses will never go in the asat path. Asat pata. Why? This is because I hold the Lord, May Druto Hari, in my heart, filled with great zeal. Outkantayavata, Outkantayavata. औत्कंठ होकर मैं भगवान को मेरा हृदय में रखता हूँ, इसलिए मेरा मेरा वर्ड्स एंड मेरा माइंड और मेरा इंद्रिय गलती रास्ते में नहीं चलेगा कभी. They always do right things only. You say that the spiritual world is eternal beyond the three gunas in such verses as Amrutam, Kshemam, Abhayam, Trimurdno, Adyayi, Murdchu. You have also said that the 1/4 portion, the material world of the three gunas, is not false, though it is temporary, being the effect of the external energy Maya in such verses as Vilajja Maya, Yasya, Tatum Ikshapate Muhu, etc. etc. You also imply that the objects of the material world are real since they are used in sadhana. Whatever objects, they are all real. This project is real, laptop is real, mobile is real, book is real, everything is real, it is Samagri is also real. We are applying in the deity service seva. Thus, you also imply that the objects of the material world are real since they are used in sadhana. But other learned in scripture say that the whole world is illusory. Brahma Satyam means, Jagan Mithya means,
This world is always false.
what do you mean by material world is false?
It does not exist.
What do you mean by that? Who does not exist?
This material world.
That's that much only.
This material world and all the elements and
Even people also. This material world, everyone living in the material world, they are all Maya. They say all the avatars who come here, they are also Maya. Anything in which has found, everything is Maya. Except Brahman, remaining all Maya. That is their philosophy. But other learned scripture say that the whole world is illusory, since it is a play of the mind. And some other sex people say that everything is a play in the mind only. Everything that we go through is all simply a game in the mind. Mind is designing the game, artificial intelligence or matrix. And that the existence of the Lord is temporary, since it has only secondary qualities of existence. The avatars, they come and go. They don't have permanent existence. What to speak of is abode of three portions. Then what to speak of Tripa Vibhuti and Vaikuntha, etc. There is no regard to all those things. Then should I believe the words of others or what your words? So my dear father, should I believe your words or words of other philosophers?
This is Vishnu Chakravarti.
Yes.
So even in scriptures actually it is mentioned about the Mayavad philosophy. Or it is only by the contribution of Adi Shankaracharya.
No. Philosophy is always there.
Philosophy of
All the different philosophies are always there. What Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse number 1 and 2. Gita 1 chapter 4 1 and 2. Evam vivashvate yogam prokta vanam aveyam vivashvate mano praha mano rikshvako abravit. Then sakalene hamata yogonushta parantapa. By the effect of time, the yoga is lost. But actually, this yoga was taught by me to Sangat. Sangat to his son Vivaga. Ikshvaku, Ikshvaku to Manu. Manu to Ikshvaku, like that. Evam parapara papta, evam rajasyo vidu. Sakalene hamata yogonushta parantapa. Just like Gita knowledge is lost by the effect of time, like the other philosophy also lost by the effect of time, and they are rejuvenated by different acharyas. Simple. Everything applies for everything. Now your scientific technology also, we are advancing now. One day it will be lost, and some other day it will be revived. It is applicable for all. Now sinful tendencies are widely spread. In Satyuga they are like subdued. In again Kali Yuga they are promoted. So it's like that.
but why does it have to mention that it is mentioned in the scripture? It can be actually mentioned as propounded by a particular philosopher.
Which one?
Like Adi Shankaracharya, he has given the commentary. So as such, if we see that is his interpretation, it is not the exact thing what is mentioned in the scripture. So Why it should be actually said that the others learned in scripture say that this whole universe is illusory. So does Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is referring to
I is referring to Mayavada philosophy only.
Mayavada philosophy which appears in every Kali Yuga?
It is there in other yugas also, Prabhu.
So it is there in other
It
yugas.
is there in other yugas also. That's why sometimes it may not be widely spread. If some acharya comes and revives it, it will be there every time. All the philosophies are there always. Maybe they may be called with different names, but philosophy will be there always. Philosophies are eternal, they don't change. Only people, it is up to the people's choice which philosophy to accept. So it's like that.
And why this
They
conversation
are
is
authorized.
Huh?
They are authorized.
Okay, forget about others. Why the universe has been created?
For the
satisfy the desires of the universe.
Some jivas have a desire to have a philosophy of Mayavad. उनको फैसले देना पड़ेगा ना. Okay. Okay.
Why this conversation actually Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is commenting with respect to this?
See the heading, Prabhu. Why should you believe me? And why should I accept your opinion and not the opinion of other great scholars? What are the opinions of other great scholars?
Okay.
There should be other popular opinion also, no? This popular opinion is completely against to what is said. So what Brahmaji is saying in the previous verses is against to this one. The whole universe is illusory. So how do we establish that against that philosophy? For Vaishnava, the main proponent is Mayavada. So they need to defeat and establish. The words I have spoken to you are not false. The reason is that the Lord, the cause of everything, is held in my jealous mind. Where there is the Lord, there is truth. Believe my words. Other learned in the scriptures do not hold the Lord in their minds. Thus the working of their minds is false, and their words are false. Do not accept the opinions of such liars. Still, Nardamuni has some questions. Still, I am not convinced. Then Brahmaji again further continues. Soham samamnaya mana mayastapomaya prajapatinam abhivanditapati astaya yogam nipunam samahita tam nadyagachanyataatmatantrim.
By being objects nature and being filled with the Vedas, filled with austerity, a master worshipped by the Prajapatis, performing yoga with fixed mind, did not know the Lord. Things I was created by
I being of this nature and being filled with the Vedas with austerity, a master worshipped by the Prajapatis, performing yoga with fixed mind, did not know the Lord since I was created by him. Even though I am created by Lord, the Supreme Lord, even though I am expert in Vedic study, I am expert in performing the tapasya, I am expert in performing yajna, I am the worshipped by the Adla Prajapatis as the master of yajna, but still, even I am expert in yoga, still I do not know the Lord because I am created by the Lord. Aham Adishat Devanam Bhutana Mantamevacha. Since I am the source of Devatas and Bhutas, therefore they will not know me. That principle holds good in Bhagavad Gita. Here Narada Muni might ask a question. Those learned in the conclusions of the Vedas think that they know the form of the Supreme Lord. Do they understand other things by their reasoning? So, Narada Muni, when Brahmaji said in the previous verse, because I take shelter of Lord's lotus feet completely very closely in my heart, whatever I say is not wrong. Whatever my mind thinks and whatever my senses do is not wrong. But Narada Muni said that no, not like that. Even the other scholars have same thing. Not only you, everyone says same thing. Since I have studied Vedas very perfectly and I have taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, whatever I speak is right. Then, out of humility, Ramaji is saying that I, as described in the previous verse, holding the Lord in my jealous heart, I am filled with the Vedas. Sam Amnaya Maya. Lord Brahma is a personality made up of all Amnayas, all Vedic literatures. You say, na, he is intelligence personified. So intelligence means he is the person endowed with all the Vedic literature, Vedic knowledge. In that way. The Vedas came out of my mouth at the beginning of the creation. At the beginning of the creation, the 4 Vedas came out. You will read in the 3rd and 12th chapter how it came. Others ask the meaning of the Vedas. Even today, I am the first to perform austerity. So the Vedas came out of my mouth at the beginning of the creation. Even other people ask the meaning of the Vedas from me, even today also. So I am the first one to perform austerity. Tapasya. At the beginning of the creation, when there was no one, Brahma alone was there, he performed austerities. This you will understand from 9th chapter. 2nd canto, 9th chapter, you will understand this. Read the translation.
While Brahma was contemplating how to carry out the creation of the universe, he heard close by in the water a word of 2 syllables, Tapa, composed of the 16th and 21st sounds of the alphabets, which is known as the wealth of the devotees with no material desire.
What is the wealth of the devotees? Ta is the 16th syllable, Pa is the 21st syllable. Papa, Baba, Ma. Tata, Dada, Na. So in that way. 5, 5, 5, na. Kaka, Kakaja, 1 to 5. Chacha, Jaja, na. 6 to 10. Tata, Dada, na. 11 to 16. 11 to 15. Then Papa, Baba, Ma. 16 to 20. Papa. So at the beginning of the creation, when there was no one there, Brahma was trying to search out where does this lotus came, where I am coming from. Then he heard 2 letters, Ta and Pa. Then he performed tapasya. And Lord Vishnu says, no one ever will perform tapasya like this. He performed tapasya for 1000 celestial years. Devata years. Celestial means Devata years. Brahma himself has 100 years only. I will he perform 10,000 years or 1,000 years. 1000 Devata years he performed tapasya. Lord says, no one can perform like this. I performed austerity first, ordered by the Lord. Having gained knowledge of the Lord, I received powers from him, and I am worshipped by the Prajapatis. I am the first one to receive all the Vedas. I am the first one to perform tapasya. I am also worshipped by all the Prajapatis. Since I am their father, I am their guru. They are all worshipping me as their father and guru. Do not say that I do not have the powers of yoga. I am also expert of Ashtanga yoga. All powers I have. With concentrated mind, I practice skillful Ashtanga yoga. But still, in spite of having all these things, I did not know the Lord because he is my creator. Even though I am expert in Vedas and all, everything is there, but still I don't know the Lord completely because he is my creator. How can a creation will know about the creator? No. Unless until the creator will tell. Oh, then how can those created by me, though they think they know something, how will they know me? The first question, the first answer, like, when I say that I don't know, then how can the creations of mine, how can my children know all these things? Then how can those created by me, though they think they know something, how they know him? Those who say that the existence of the Lord is secondary are blind. Those who give importance to Brahman first and the Bhagavan next, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, and then they are all blind. Because nowhere till now, it is something is coming from Brahman like that is nowhere mentioned. Everything Bhagavan is there. Vishnu, Karnasha Vishnu there from the very beginning. But even though I am so qualified by being endowed with scriptural, supreme knowledge, austerity, yoga, etc., I did not know the Lord. How then can others created by me understand him? How can my creations know the Lord completely? It's like that. Brahma is understanding. Then he further continues. Natosmaham tas charanam samiyusham bhavachidam swastayanam sumangalam yo yatma maya vibhavam sma paryagat yatanavaswantamata parikuta.
I offer my respects to lotus feet of the Lord, which destroy material existence for the devotees, and bestow the bliss of prema, and which deliver the goals of other sadhanas. Even that Lord does not know the extent of his yogamaya, just as space does not
Just as space does not know its limits, what then can others know about the Lord?
The inexperienced fools partil when they speak about the Supreme Lord. Because even the Lord cannot know about himself. Brahma offers him respects with great devotion. I offer respects to the Lord's feet, which cut the suffering of material life, Bhavachidam, for the devotees. Samiyusham. The lotus feet of the Lord will cut the suffering of material life for the devotees. Samiyusham. This is an unsought result for the devotees. Those feet give the happiness of prema, swasti ayanam. It brings aspirants to the life of devotees, bhakti. This is the sought result. Though the feet cause those feet give the happiness of prema. This is the sought result. Those feet cause most auspiciousness, sumangalam. Because without some mixture of bhakti, the karmis, jnanis and yogis get no results from their practices. He also does not know the extent of his yogamaya. Thus, paryagat means he cannot know. How can others understand? So even Lord does not know about himself. Then how can others know about the Lord? How can somebody else will say that, okay, I know the Lord, I know the Lord. How can they say? Because the example is given that how can the omniscient Lord does not know? ऐसा कैसे बोल सकते हैं Lord does not know about himself? It is because he has no limits. An example is given. Space does not know its own end. Not being able to see a sky flower does not destroy omniscience. It's you like that. So that means the space is ever expanding. An ever expanding space can know about its limits. So currently, now at this point of time, the space is about 100 cubic meters. The space personified goes here and there and sees 100 cubic meters, everything. By the time he goes around and sees and comes back to the original position, it becomes 101 cubic meter. So 1 cubic meter increased. So by the time he sees that another increase like that, his glories are ever increasing. So Lord's glories are ever increasing. There is no limit to it. So how to understand that? So today Lord's glories are being sung by 10 devotees. So by the time Lord gets to hear, okay, 10 devotees are talking about my glories. The day ends. Next day, 20 people speak the glories of the Lord. That means 20 people, 10 people extra speaking about the glories of the Lord. So that means it is increasing only. It is becoming more and more. Lord's wonderful activities are expanded by devotees so much that it will never end. Even Adisheshi is also glorifying the Lord's wonderful activities. When he ends, universe destroys. The Bhumandala falls into the ocean. That is the extent of the Lord's glories. There will be no end for his wonderful glories.
Then what does this mean by not able to see a sky flower does not destroy omniscience?
So that doesn't mean that just because Lord will not be able to understand his own glories completely, you cannot say that Lord is not omniscient. we say Lord is omniscient. If he is omniscient, he should know everything.
Mm.
And then you should not say that Lord himself does not know his glories.
Mm.
If you are saying that Lord is not knowing and Lord not knowing his glories completely, he cannot be omniscient. Then it says that it's not like that. In 1,000 glories, even if you know 999 glories, just by not knowing one glory, that does not make you non-omniscient. You know all, and you will come to know it in the near future. It is not that you will never know. That 1,000th glory, you will know next minute. But before that, you cannot say Lord is not omniscient. His omniscience is not destroyed. So in that way. Not being able to see a sky flower does not destroy the omniscience. Actually, there is no sky flower. The flowers in the sky will not be there. So somebody says, I am not seeing the flowers in the sky, so I am not omniscient. Not like that. Anyways, sky flowers will not come. So you know all the sky, but in the sky you have not seen the flowers. Anyway, flowers won't be there in the sky. Just because you did not see the flowers in the sky, you cannot become Buddha. Something like that. Because you are unlimited, neither the lords of heaven nor you yourself can never reach the end of your glories. The countless universes, each are enveloped in its shell, are composed of the wheel of time to wander within you, like particles of dust blowing about in the sky. Just like particles of dust are spreading everywhere, like that there are countless universes spread in the skin pores of Mahavishnu. So his glories are unlimited. No one can estimate, no material person can estimate the glories of the Supreme Lord. The Shruti says, if a person says he knows the Supreme Lord in the spiritual sky, he actually does not know him. Yo asyadyaksha parame vyoman so anga veda yadi vana veda. If in the material world somebody says that I know the Lord, actually they don't know. The one who actually knows the Lord will never say I know the Lord, because they know that the glories are ever increasing. Even Lord himself does not know completely. How can a mortal person can know the glories of the Lord completely? That is not possible. So from that point of view, who can actually claim to really know the Lord? Even the Lord himself cannot know the extent of his own Yogamaya. Naham na yuyam yadrutam gatim vidu navamadeva kimutapare sura tanmaya mohita buddha buddhaya swaham vinirvitam chatma samam vichakshame.
You and Shiva do not know the three part spiritual world and the one part material world. What to speak of others? Bewildered in intelligence, we speak about the material realm only and do that according to our limited knowledge.
Yeah, he says that myself, yourself, O Narada, and Lord Shiva also do not know the spiritual world and the material world completely. Then what to speak of other people? Even we three do not know the topmost personalities within this universe. We three would not know the complete nature of the spiritual world and the complete nature of the material world. Then what to speak of other living entities? Bewildered intelligence, we speak about the material realm only. What we can speak is all about the material world only. Because since we are living in the material world, we can see it personally and we can speak of it. And do not according to our limited knowledge. And we may not be able to do this with our limited knowledge. Brahma expresses his low position in 2 verses. Vamadeva is Lord Shiva. I, you and Shiva do not know the truth about the spiritual and material worlds. What then to speak of other living entities knowing this? With confused intelligence, we speak of the 1/4 portion made of Maya only, but only according to our own knowledge. We do not know everything. Certainly, we do not know anything about the spiritual world, but to some extent, we may know about the material world. Because since we are living here, we can move around and can know about it. That too, we can only know according to our knowledge. I may know little and you may know little bit more here and there. and Lord Shiva may know a little bit entirely different only. What we three know about the material world may not be common also. It can be of three different aspects of the material world. If even I, you and Lord Shiva do not know about the material and spiritual worlds completely, what then to speak of others? But still we speak about the material realm, and that too only according to our limited knowledge. So then somebody might ask question. So you say that you don't know anything absolutely about the spiritual world? Yes, I don't know anything about the spiritual world. And you say that some of the items, some of the topics of the material world you know? Yes, I know a little bit about the material world. So what do you know about the material world? What do you know in the material world? And what do you know about the Lord in the material world? If you don't know anything about the Lord in the spiritual world, you said you should know something about the Lord in the material world. What is that? Yasya karmani gayanti asmadadaya nayam vidanti tatvena tasmai bhagavate namaha.
I and others offer respect to the Supreme Lord, whom we do not know, but whose activities we glorify when he appears as various avatars.
This is one interesting verse. I, you, Shiva, and others offer respect to Supreme Lord. Tasmai Bhagavate Namaha. Whom we don't know, we do not know. Na yam vidanti tatvena. But whose activities we glorify. We don't know the Supreme Lord completely, but his activities we glorify. Because he appears again and again in different avatars in the material world. So whenever he appears in the variety of material worlds, he performs their activities. Those activities we can remember and speak. This is the system. So this is actually makes very apt understanding. Even if we do not know about these things, in truth, we can still practice bhakti with a process like chanting. We speak about the activities of the avatars who appear in this 1/4 portion of the material world again and again. Please listen. So it does not really matter whether we know him or not. We just want to glorify him. So here the understanding is, whatever Vedic literatures we have, all these Vedic literature talks about the Lord's activities in the material world only. Is there any Vedic literature which talks about the Lord's activities in the spiritual world? Whatever you come across, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, Vishnu Purana, Linga Purana, Tat Purana, Tat Purana, or other novels so during our childhood. So it's like that. Are you getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Is there anywhere have you read anything about the Lord's activities in the spiritual world?
Only from Acharyas,
What they spoke?
pastimes,
Which past time?
like from the Garbhasamhita, Sanatana Goswami's Grihas Bhagavatam.
Hmm.
So how Kumara actually goes.
Goes to spiritual world. There Krishna welcomes him. That much only, na? But Leelas are not explained.
Leelas are explained by Vijay Swami.
Where? That is all Vrindavan only. Here what happened, that only. That is all based on 10th canto.
No, that is not over.
10th canto kayu commentary.
Garbhasamhita.
Samhita is also in one sense commentary to 10th canto and Mahabharata.
Gopal Chandra?
They are all expansion of 10th canto only.
In Bombay Vrindavan.
बाबा वंदन लीलानो क्या क्या हुआ वो सब वर्ण के.
ऐसे तो ये कुछ पास्ट टाइम्स या फिर डिस्क्रिप्शंस तो मिलते होंगे ना कुछ
किधर
जो आचार्य ने दिया है डिस्क्रिप्शंस हो
मिलता है तो बता दो, कंपेयर करो. सएषाद्य पुरुषा कल्पे कल्पे सजति अजा आत्मात्मनि आत्मनात्मानं स सम्यच्यत् प्रातिः.
Mahavishnu, without birth, the soul of all beings, creates himself, the universe, maintains by himself, and destroys in himself.
So now at the end, so we only know the Lord to the extent that whenever he comes to this middle and performs activities, those activities only we know. So but the material activities are beginning with Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu's activities in relation to material creation are mentioned in this chapter. In the next chapter, Brahmaji continues saying that What all the activity that we know about various avatars? There is a brief list of all the different avatars and their activities are mentioned in the next chapter. They are all connected to this verse only. We don't know what Lord in the spiritual world. We only know this much, what Lord does in the material world, starting with Mahavishnu. So now we briefly discuss the activities of Mahavishnu, and then I will also discuss the activities of other avatars, what they have done when they come to material world. That's all. Even Brahma himself is not telling about what they are do, what the activity they perform when they are in the spiritual world. So that means he also saying that he is also following that. Mahavishnu, without birth, the soul of all beings, creates himself. Matlab, he creates the universe and maintains the universe and destroys the universe. He is the responsible for all the three. The Purushavatara, the unborn self, creates the universe in the form of the first Purusha and destroys himself. He, the subject, creates the object himself, the universe. Mahavishnu, the soul of all beings, creates the universe, maintains it, and destroys it in himself. When the destruction happens, the universe again enters back into the body of Karmadaksha Vishnu only. So, like that. These are the activities of Karmadaksha Vishnu.
The last line, and destroys in himself,
Hmm.
indicates that the destruction of all the universes within himself.
At the destruction, all the universes again enter back into Mahavishnu. A cheese you will read in 12th canto, how it happens. Now you may not understand it. You get some glimpse of it in the 3rd canto, 11th chapter, how the destruction takes place. Just like at the time of creation, from the skin pores, Prakriti came now. At the end, all the 24 elements again merge back into Prakriti. Prakriti again enters into the body of Karmadaksha Vishnu.
And also here in the translation it is mentioned, he creates himself.
Bracket mein dekho, himself means the universe. The universe is not seen different from him. He maintains by himself as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Archyodaksha Vishnu, and he destroys in himself. The universe is after destruction enters back into himself. So in that way. So you say in Sanskrit, my Atma is disturbing today. My mind is disturbing me today. So mind is also called as Atma. The sensor also called as Atma, something like that. The universe is seen with respect to the Lord. So, Vishuddham kevalam jnanam pratyek samyak avasthitam satyam purnam anadyantam nirgunam nityam advayam.
The Lord is that knowledge which is full of bliss, Shuddha Sattva, beyond subject, object, and instrument, distinguished from all else, situated everywhere, in its true form, complete at all times, without beginning or end, without material gunas, eternal and without comparison.
The Lord is that knowledge which is full of bliss, jnanam, Shuddha Sattva, Vishuddham, beyond subject, object, and instrument, is kevalam, is beyond our grammatical rules and regulations. Distinguished from all else is Pratyek Drishi, situated everywhere, it is in its true form, complete at all times, is Purnam, without beginning or end, Anadi Anantam, and without material gunas, is eternal without comparison, Nirgunam Nityam Advayam. But you have said you do not know the Lord in verse 38. Is it the impersonal form that you do not know? This was the answers. You said, I don't know about the Lord, the spiritual world. What do you don't know? Is it about the impersonal form you don't know, the spiritual world? Jnanam means a form of bliss. Here in this verse, he is giving a brief description about the impersonal Brahman. He said that I know a little bit about impersonal Brahman, but I don't know about the Bhagavan, the spiritual world. What do you know about the impersonal Brahman? It is Vishuddham, it is Kevalam, it is Jnanam, it is Pratyak, it is Pratyamak Avasitam, it is Satyam, it is Purnam, it is Anandi, it is Anantam, it is Nirgunam, it is Nityam, it is Advayam. These are all different attributes of Brahman. All these things I know. This much I know about Brahman, like that is saying.
So Lord Brahma know about Brahman, but not the Supreme Lord fully. This is what it is saying.
Yes.
So So Brahma हमने एक बार टेबल में पढ़ा था पिछले I think पिछले चैप्टर में those who worship Lord Brahma they attain impersonal liberation.
Not Brahma, Brahman.
हाँ ब्रह्मा
Brahma is different, Brahman is different.
तो ब्रह्मा जी को जो वर्शिप करते हैं
They don't attain anything, they'll come back.
ऐसा है
वैसे है ना?
desire एक था ना one who desires to attain the impersonal Brahman
They need to worship Brahman. Not Brahma, they need to worship Brahman.
क्योंकि मैंने
the second chapter, the fourth chapter, there are different material desires and the devatas material. So in that context, he was actually referring to
Brahma
Bhagavad
they
Gita.
want to be
There it is written as
For what? For what get to get?
absorption in impersonal Brahman. Brahma.
But in
Not
yours,
Brahma. That Brahma means Vedic literatures. One need to take shelter of the Vedas.
ये वाले ब्रह्मा जी
Brahma means not Lord Brahma.
then
Either
why
it
is
could be Vedic
mentioned
literatures or it could
यहाँ
be.
पे demigod to worship because
why is it mentioned under the heading of devatas?
It's okay, Prabhu. Vedas also can be seen as a deity. Now, what is the problem? Why you people are everything put into black and white thing only? It's okay, na? So Brahma Varchasa Kamastu Yajeta Brahmana Patim. The person who desires the knowledge of Brahma should worship Brahma, the master of the Vedas. So now here the actor Brahmana Patim means the master of the Vedas. Hear carefully. The person who desires the knowledge of Brahma,
That means your impersonal Brahman.
who desires the knowledge of Brahma only, should worship Brahma, the master of the Vedas.
So that Brahma is Brahma Jyoti knowledge.
Here Brahma only written, knowledge of Brahma only. Should worship Brahma. If you want to know about Brahma, you should worship Brahma, the master of the Vedas.
If we see from the context
Hmm.
of the material desire, desire,
Hmm.
why a person would desire to understand Brahma?
You don't know. Somebody might want to know about Brahma.
And the
may
other,
not.
all the other contextually,
Hmm.
all the other desires,
If someone wants to know about Brahman, that becomes a spiritual desire. There is no more material desire. Here, all this section is only about the material desires. How you can say understanding of Brahman is material desire? That is a spiritual desire. That is okay. That is acceptable. Understanding of Brahman is nowhere a material desire. Understanding of Brahma can be a material desire. Somebody want to understand Brahma because they want to go to Brahma Loka. What is the problem? It is not impersonal Brahman, only Brahma. If you want to know about Brahma, you need to take shelter of Brahma. If I want to know about Rupana Prabhu, whom should I ask? Do you know about him completely? I need to approach him only, na?
even I don't know myself.
आप भगवान सोच रहे हैं कि आपके बारे में
Yeah.
ज्यादा हो गया
I'm saying it in the other way.
ज्यादा हो गया
Ignorant fools.
Jnanam means a form of bliss. Since Shruti says Vijnanam Anandam Brahma, the Lord is knowledge and bliss. This Jnanam is Kevala because it lacks subject, object, and instrument. Since knowledge simply knows or simply is, it does not need another object to carry out recognition and has no object other than itself. The knowledge is self-revelation. Knowledge does not need any other instrument to know about it. So in that way.
Then what is their effort to actually gain knowledge?
You ask them, na?
If that is their oneness, which they say, if they does not have subject, object, and
When we are ignorant, we need to work hard to come out of the ignorance. When you come out of the ignorance, there is nothing to know. But as long as we are in ignorance, we need to come out of the ignorance. For that, you need to know. Where you have to come out, that you should know. After coming out, you understand you are that only. It is not even that Mayavada. It is proper understanding of Brahman only. What is Brahman you want to know? It will be revealed. It is self-revealed.
But then what is the instrument to actually know Brahman?
Jnana.
But then here it says that because it lacks subject, object, and instrument. Since knowledge simply knows.
At the practice, you have subject, object, and instrument. Once you complete the process, everything becomes useless. So in that way, once you realize, then no need to understand anything more. So in that way. Though it pervades everywhere, it is still in its aim excellent form. It is without lesser degrees. It is without birth and change. It is not mixed with the material gunas. It remains in one form throughout all time. Nothing else can compare to it. These are different attributes of Brahman. So what are the different qualities of Brahman? Vishuddham, Kevalam, Pratyajnanam, Samyak, Satyam, Avasthitam, Purnam, Anadi, Anantam, Nirgunam, Nityam, Advayam. These are different qualities of Brahman. Yeah. Okay. So Hare Krishna, will stop here. We'll continue afterwards. Because it's already 3:30. You might have come. You might be waiting. Okay.